Good morning, everybody. My name is John Finch. I am with Ring Central. I head up all of product marketing and go-to-market activities around our customer engagement product portfolio. You'll have to excuse me today. I have a little bit of a raspy voice. Usually I'm not this grovelly when I'm speaking, but I've been fighting a cold for a couple of days here, so I apologize in advance. But I've spent 20 years in this space. It's actually been pretty incredible. I've worked for some amazing companies, and we've seen a lot of things change in customer engagement. About 10 years ago, we all sort of were talking, there were a bunch of analysts and a number of folks that I worked with over the course of time about, wow, I think we've invented everything you possibly could in terms of customer engagement, what's going to be out there from a technology perspective. But lo and behold, it's still evolving. It's gone to the cloud, and there's more and more things that are happening every day now and customer expectations. And it's because of the things that we put into their hands as consumers and what their expectations are. And now it's important for businesses to also kind of catch up and get with the technology and be able to communicate with customers the way that they want to communicate in the open world. How many of you have traveled and stayed at like a Hilton before, a Hilton hotel or a Marriott? So I recently stayed at a Hilton. This didn't happen to me here, but maybe it will at some point. I was at a Hilton recently in the US, and I checked into the hotel, and what I got after I checked in is I got a text message from the hotel, which basically introduced me to every single person that I may ever need to interact with at the hotel, from guest services to concierge services to the hotel manager and even housekeeping, so that I could communicate with these people, not just by a number, but actually by their names in a text message clip or a text message forum that I could actually be able to get back to them if I needed to extend my stay, if I was looking for a restaurant, if I was looking to basically go eco on my bed sheets and not have them change them and give me one towel a day. So it really gave me this personalized experience with the hotel that I no longer had to pick up the phone. I could use my device no matter where I was to communicate with the hotel, miles away or, whatever it was. I could still communicate with them without being in the room and needing that right at that very moment. This is kind of the world we're living in, right? Is being able to get with customers and communicate with them in that very, very personalized sort of way. If I were to ask you guys, what are the two most important things when you think of interactions with a brand? The two most important things that a brand wants to do. They want to sell something, and you want to service something, right? So those are the two most important things that you want to be able to communicate with. And being able to do that today is pretty difficult, right? You've got multiple ways that you're communicating. The traditional voice system, which companies have had for a long, long time since the 1960s, really important technology, but voice is only one angle. Then you've got now SMS and messaging, you've got social media, you've got web chat, you've got in-app messaging for applications that you may have out there like Hilton has. You have customer reviews that are out there on sites like YouTube, and you've got things like Pinterest and things like Instagram that, boy, how do you even handle those? And a lot of those are dead-end communication points, right? The phone system we've solved. The rest of these areas, we really haven't solved very well. And this is the challenge for all of us, is to figure out how do we get to our customers or how do our customers get to us? And so this is a pretty obvious fact, right? I mean, there's 3.3. There's a lot of different statistics that are out there around cell phones that are in market, especially smartphones. And being able to communicate and the number with these individuals and the number of phones that are actually out there is going to become increasingly more important from any business's perspective, from any brand's perspective. And so really what's happened is the rules of customer service have changed, right? It's no longer about the business setting the rules. It's no longer the business saying, hey, we're only open from 9 to 5. We're only going to do these 3 types of interactions with you. And oh, by the way, chat goes away after 6 p.m. It's reactive service rather than proactive outreach. It really becomes what's easier for the business to be able to leverage and utilize in order to staff appropriately to handle customer communications. Well, guess what? That doesn't cut it anymore. It's really about 24/7. It's really about being on all the time. It's listening across every single channel and any single device, digital especially. And then thinking about things like proactive service, reaching out and just testing with people how they're doing and seeing if they need anything. Boy, that's a point of interest for you to be actually selling something, for example. And getting a full picture view of the customer, really being able to understand how the customer's interacting with you, over what course of time they're with you, and what channels they're interacting with you on. It's really key. And it needs to be individualized or personalized, and it also needs to be effortless. It needs to be simple for them to do. It doesn't take any exerted extra effort to get something done. So these are also some statistics that most of us are intimately familiar with, right? And it really is about, customers being dissatisfied. It's about customers not getting to the right agents. It's customers not actually being able to get their issue resolved. And it's also about people in the world that are not using phone systems anymore, but they're actually using messaging applications on a daily basis. And that's continuing to increase. We all communicate with messaging apps one-to-one. Why wouldn't we communicate with brands and people we're doing business with messaging? Well, we do in business now too. And now we're doing it more and more with these brands, expecting customer interactions and customer service. And the next level of generations that are coming up and evolving as buyers and consumers are less likely to stay with a brand if they're not happy. If they're not happy with how it's performing, brand loyalty is out the door. It's going to be super important to make it effortless and easy for every single individual that's doing business with you to communicate with you on the channels of their choice. So it's not just about the phone, but it's the experience across the board. It's about in person, if you've got a brick and mortar storefront, right? It's about on the phone. So it's still key, so voice is not dead. And then it's also about online. And it's making sure that every experience across the board is effortless and contiguous. It means that anywhere that they're coming in, having a conversation with a brand, having that communication be effortless, and knowing that that agent that's going to pick up that call or text back or respond via the in-app messaging is going to know who you are, or at least make you feel like they know who you are. And at least at the brand level, they can actually respond to you and solve the issue, and or maybe even sell something more. So as I said, we've been saying this for 20 years since I've been in this space. It's not really about making the customer experience amazing anymore, right? Amazing is just an obligatory word that people are constantly using. It's really about making things easier, right? And what can we do to do that? Well, Hilton was my example at the front end of the conversation, right? Hilton made it easy for me. I had a great stay. I didn't really need them for anything, but in case I did, I knew where to find them, and I didn't have to be in the hotel to make that change happen. It's really about being effortless, right? And that's what it does. It makes my ability and our ability as consumers now, me at Hilton, to have an effortless experience. I didn't have to do anything extra special to feel like I could get the service levels that I needed. I didn't have to make a call and then text, or text first, go to the website, go here and go there, and no one knew it was happening, right? It really was effortless. It was requiring no physical or mental exertion from me to get customer service, period. So let's talk a little bit more about 5 best practices in terms of making customer experience more effortless. So the first one really is key. From a digital perspective, and remember that first slide I was talking about, there's a lot of endpoints, there's a lot of touch points that customers have now with brands today, right? And so how do you bring all these things together? And I think this is probably one of the most important elements. So take a picture of this one if you're going to remember anything from my presentation. It's really about having a universal ID. It's every single channel that you use personally today. So I'll use myself as an example. I'm JL Finch 1 for everything, pretty much, for Twitter, for Google, for anything else. So if you want to find me, you can find me pretty easily. But I'll guarantee you, most of the folks in the audience have multiple IDs across all of these channels that you use. So how do you aggregate these things? How do you bring these things together as a company to be able to actually provide customer service? Well, it's quite simple, right? It's actually bringing it together and providing this individual identity across all these channels and using a platform that actually can do that. So agents now have the ability to communicate text messages, social media, in-app messaging, name your favorite flavor, and be able to pull out the information based on prior interactions with customers via data dips into CRM systems or other systems that might bring that information to light into that conversation that they're having with the actual customer. So you can solve it quicker. So it makes agents' lives easier, and it also makes the customer feel like they're individualized and they're having one true unified experience with that brand. So it's pretty cool. Any digital channel. So let's get to this next point, which is what we're talking about today, right? It's like, how do you do this? Social, live chat, web chat, in-app messaging, voice. How do you bring it all together? A single platform that manages all these things. The single platform can route all of these interactions, categorize, and bring this information to the agent based on prior interactions, so that single identity as well, and funnel that through to the agent that's most appropriate to handle that interaction for the customer. So you can see here, there's 20 plus channels. They're not all listed, but there's 20 plus channels that are supported across this particular platform, which we offer from RingCentral. And so Engage Digital provides all of this and also allows organizations to build for the future. So being able to build out for channels that may not exist today, but could exist tomorrow. I mean, look what we've all been through in the last few years, right? The evolution of digital communications and digital channels continues to evolve. Being able to have a platform that enables you to build for the future is key to that success. And also, these are more and more important, these types of solutions are more and more important for all businesses of all sizes, not just large enterprises, because of these guys. These guys are doing more and more and more with messaging every single day. So Apple Business Chat, new OS that went out in October. Now you go find in Google, find a business online, and through the OS, you can actually message a business. Try it out today if you get a chance. Google, same thing is coming. No longer just getting directions or calling the business, but you can message the business. And Facebook, WhatsApp already has all that. So being able to communicate with your customers that are coming into you through the web, through searches, I mean, how important is that for a small business or a large business? You need to have that. And so it's going to become more and more important as this continues to evolve and continues to be adopted. AI at the core. Well, AI is a big word, but let's talk a little bit about it. And I think one of the things that I mentioned earlier was 24/7 customer service. And I think that's the biggest component here. Keep in the back of your minds that AI has a lot of different meanings for a lot of different people, and a lot of different companies are talking about it. But one of the things that is most important is being able to deflect communications to offer 24/7 service across digital channels with a digital solution. So think about it from this perspective. We went out and talked to a number of different brands. Actually, this data is from European customers that we had talked with most recently. And of the customers that we've talked with, they're going to see an increase over the next year about 2 times or doubling the amount of digital customer interactions that they're going to have and be digital first. And then of that, about 10% of those will be deflected through automation, so for chatbots and other knowledge-based system types of solutions. So this is one angle as to why AI is actually important, is being able to deflect and automate these interactions to ultimately provide that 24/7 level of customer service. So we say, AI is this big word, right? It's nebulous, but I think this thing that we want to say here is it's about AI being at the core. So all these interactions are coming in, and it's not just AI responding, but it's AI actually routing and classifying and recommending things to agents and to customers, and pulling in chatbots or other automated types of interactions when necessary. But it really is the core element here. It learns continuously on how to route. It dips into the databases. It dips into CRM systems. It understands how customers are interacting with the brand and puts those through to the right individuals to interact and solve that problem, the agents. But it's also this. It's also bringing in all the intelligent agents on the one side and then being able to deflect as much as possible. So remember that 10% number in an ecosystem with chatbots and other technologies that customers want to use. So being open and being able to leverage and utilize what's best of breed in the business environment today is key. One example is we've done business with Google. So Google Dialogflow is one of the levels of interaction we've done out of the box, which is great. We've also done many different interactions with customers here in Europe. So customers here in Europe have used lots of chatbot integrations that are best-of-breed technologies and integrated those into the intelligent virtual assistant. But ultimately, what this is doing is allowing these organizations to offer 24/7 service across any channel. I mean, go figure. Pretty simple, right? Collaborative. As an agent, this is one of the key things that if I were an agent today, I'd want to have. I want to be able to get access to the information so that I can do my job easier and better, and I can have better customer satisfaction. So basically, how is it that you bring your organization to become a customer-centric organization? What does it mean really to be collaborative? And I think it's many different things. It's bringing all of these customer service organizations that were once siloed together with all the other departments across your organization. From sales to marketing to professional services to partners, for example, to product, to IT, to other areas of support, tier 2 support, tier 3 support, whomever it might be, and connecting them up with the tools that make their jobs easier and ultimately solve customer problems faster. Those are the key things. And so technologies today, by being able to do that, brings everyone together. So one of the products, or the portfolio of products, I should say, that RingCentral provides is really a combination of unified communications as a service and customer service as a service as well. Sorry, my voice. But bringing this together and being able to communicate not only from a perspective of a voice call, being able to look up a person by name and transferring it, or a departmental transfer, but also being able to text message somebody via what we call GLIP, team messaging, and being able to interact with individuals in other departments and within other teams where documentation is shared and other quick availability information on an IT person in an organization that may be able to support another level of interaction with the customer. So bringing this all together, I think, is one of those other key elements. So let's talk about number 5, final one. It's really about being open. It's about being integrated. It's about allowing for flexibility. And it really is an open, intelligent, and ready for whatever comes next kind of message. And so what that means is it's cloud first, it's AI enabled, which we talked about, and it also allows, as I said earlier, the ability for organizations to build in other technologies as they see fit. So we talked about artificial intelligence and chatbots, Google Dialogflow, other chatbot applications that are out there, other technologies that may still be in someone's garage being developed today. Those integrations exist. But also think of other things, being able to take your insurance business and start doing back office workflow and automating some of those procedures that are only unique to you, but being able to develop it in this platform and route those interactions appropriately. It's multilingual, it's configurable, and it's simple and scalable. It really is a solution that scales from one to many, 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 and it continues to evolve over time. But being able to continue that evolution as digital customer service needs change and as integration needs change for your organization, this is the kind of solution that we recommend you look for, is to be able to extend that in a way that makes sense for your business. So again, just kind of summarizing today, really three key things. Really effortless, as we talked a lot about, being effortless to communicate with one another, effortless to communicate with your customers, intelligent, really being able to have AI at the core, being able to route calls and being able to collaborate across the organization as well, and then open. So as we said in the end there, open platform is key to this, being able to actually connect up the technologies that are most important to you, from CRM to chatbots to other development angles that you may seem necessary for your organization as you move forward. And that is all I had today, but one thing I wanted to say is our mission really at RingCentral is about making communication simple and effortless for everyone. So keep that in mind. Effortless. You require effortless, your customers require effortless, their customers require effortless, therefore you should have effortless technology. So come visit us, we're at booth 508, more questions, and come by and see some demos. I'm also happy to talk to anybody up front here as well. Thank you very much.